The primary battle space is no longer geographic. It is systemic. Conventional maps of conflict are obsolete. The critical arenas are now gray zones, regions deliberately maintained in a state of controlled chaos. These are not the source of the conflict. They are the proxy laboratories where the protocols of asymmetric escalation are tested and refined. Examine Syria. When a U.S. admiral warns that escalation could set the region on fire, this is not a projection of strength. It is an admission of systemic fragility. Every faction in Aleppo understands this. A localized proxy skirmish is no longer about territory. It is a live fire test to measure the kinetic and financial cost required to force a launch-on-warning response from a superpower. This laboratory model is not confined to kinetic theaters. According to analysts at CSIS and RUSI, manufactured social unrest and supply chain disruptions in politically polarized Western nations serve the same function. These are non-kinetic probes designed to stress test social cohesion and logistical resilience. The objective is to gather data on how to trigger a disproportionate, self-harming political or economic reaction from the target state. Every gray zone operation, from a hybrid warfare push cited by Globsec to a manufactured energy scare, is calibrated against one primary target: the debt-fueled economy. The goal is to find the precise low-cost vector that triggers a systemic solvency crisis. The gray zone is the research and development wing for economic warfare. It is where adversaries learn exactly which lever to pull to make the entire over-leveraged structure bring itself down. The launch-on-warning doctrine is not a strategy, it is a protocol, a pre-calculated response to a detected incoming first strike designed to guarantee retaliation before command and control infrastructure is neutralized. The logic is one of deterrence through mathematical certainty. The critical liability, however, is the protocol's absolute dependence on accurate, real-time data. Enter the asymmetric vector, a targeted cyber attack, not on the missile silos, but on the early warning radar systems. This is the fog of digital war. According to analysts at CSS and RUSI, this form of hybrid warfare, also a key concern from Globsec, is a primary escalation threat. The system is blinded. The data stream becomes noise, or worse, is replaced with a phantom launch signature. The commander now faces a solvency crisis of information. The protocol demands a decision within minutes. Waiting for verification that can no longer be obtained is a dereliction of duty that guarantees decapitation. Launching based on a potential ghost signal guarantees global termination. The weaker actor has not fired a shot. They have weaponized the system's own rigid procedure. This is the blueprint for asymmetric escalation, forcing a catastrophic response from the over-leveraged system itself, where the kinetic cost is borne entirely by the superpower. The protocol of asymmetric escalation is not theoretical, it is an active targeting doctrine. A system defined by a debt-fueled economy, as cited by financial analysts, is inherently brittle. Adversaries, noted by security forums like Globsec for their hybrid warfare escalations, do not need to match kinetic force. They only need to introduce a precise, calibrated shock to a critical node, forcing the over-leveraged system to liquidate itself. This is not a launch-on-warning scenario for missiles. It is for solvency. The vector is not military, but logistical. The goal is not destruction, but paralysis. Geopolitical friction, such as U.S. warnings regarding escalation in Syria, creates the pretext. The real theater of operations, however, is economic. The calibration shot serves one purpose: to measure the system's cascade failure time. Within the next 12 months, expect an attribution impossible event targeting the customs and logistics data hub of a primary U.S. West Coast port. A localized data corruption blamed officially on an infrastructure failure, perhaps linked to environmental stressors noted by green central banking reports, will halt container processing for 72 hours. The kinetic cost will be zero. The systemic cost will be a multi-billion-dollar liquidity crisis in the supply chain, a test to see if the financial system seizes.